So, one of the questions that we get often with recreational therapy is, what is it? Why would I need recreational therapy versus regular therapy or occupational therapy or whatnot? So, I'm going to read you what the Utah Rec Therapy Practice Act says. In Utah, we are licensed therapists that use recreation and leisure as our modality. So the Practice Act says recreational therapy is a person-centered process that uses recreation and psychoeducational activities as intervention tools to improve the physical, cognitive, social, behavioral, emotional, or spiritual well-being of a person with an illness or disability. Recreational therapy is outcome first based. We do this by following the APIDE process. APIDE is assessment, planning, implementation, evaluation, and documentation. If you think about it, it's what you do in any healthcare service. You go to the dentist, you go to the doctor, you go to anything, and they say, what's the problem? What have you tried? Let's try this. Let's see if it works. Let's evaluate if it works. All right, let's write down what's working and what's not, and then the cycle repeats. We follow the same process, but we use recreation and leisure time as our modality, which just means that we don't sit in an office all the time. It means that we get to be a little bit creative with trying a lot of different things with doing versus just talking. So it's a great modality. I love working as a team. I love working with a therapist and with a nurse and different people to give the best quality of life options for individuals that need it. The Practice Act says individuals with illness or disability. The truth is we all fall in that category. And so it's a helpful tool if you've tried other things and it's not working and you need and want to try something else. So the question on the website is, how do we be intentional with our time, and some insights from a recreational therapist. So we define, this is very, very average comment, okay? We have 24 hours in a day, 8, 8, and 8. 8 hours, ideally-ish, we sleep, depending on our needs of our body. We listen to our body. 8 hours, we have school or work, depending on our age. And then 8 hours, we have leisure time. Leisure time is where we don't have to necessarily be at one of the other two things. Sleep is absolutely needed. Work or school is kind of how we survive in the way the world is set up now. So none of us feel like we have 8 hours of leisure time. But when it's put that way, it makes us kind of think of what do we do in those 8 hours that we aren't required to be at work or aren't required to get some sleep to survive this life. Oftentimes that 8 hours is filled with maybe some extra work. If we're a mom, it's filled with the needs and schedules of our children. We have to take care of a house, right? So there's chores, there's food. That is an absolute human need. And oftentimes we just feel like we don't really have leisure time to fill our own cup, to be balanced spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, socially, right? So my invitation to you is to really look at that time that you have and consider how to be more intentional. There's lots of ways to do this. Oftentimes people get stuck because they think they need to add so much more and their schedule is so full already that they just don't have the time or willpower to add more. And my invitation is not to necessarily add more, but to adjust what you do have to filling your cup. Look at your screen time, how much you're scrolling. Look at how much time you watch a movie. Look at how much time you clean. Genuinely, oftentimes cleaning is a coping skill more than a necessity, and we do it out of frustration or out of trying to find something we can control. And so I just invite you now to start thinking about your free time and looking at it and seeing how you can be a little bit more intentional with some of that time. There's a lot to address within this, because in order to be intentional, we have to know what we want and what fills our cup. And oftentimes we don't really know. Maybe we feel selfish looking in the mirror and saying what makes me feel good or what would I want, and we don't know fully how to do that. So my next video will be more on how to figure out what we want, but as of right now, I just want you to be a little bit intentional of looking at your time and seeing what's working and what's not working, and maybe writing down some of those things that are working and not working. I'm going to challenge you to not judge it. Don't judge it, just have it be informative. If you are scrolling for 2 hours, don't beat yourself up. You're surviving, you're trying to figure it out. And so, yeah, that's my invitation this week.